Hello, baseball fans. You're watching On Deck with Tyler Redmond.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Let's go ahead and talk in depth about Gio Urshela and Whit Merrifield. We're going to start with Gio Urshela. 4 double plays turned in only like 3 or 4 games here in Atlanta. He has been absolutely phenomenal defensively. He's made plays and made third base look easy to play, and really that was one of my bigger concerns with the loss of Austin Riley. Of course, we all know about the offensive side of the ball, what you lose with Austin. But you also lose a really good defender over there at third base. Gio Urshela has not skipped a beat. He has looked great over there. His arm strength is good. His maneuverability is good. He's looked really good defensively, and he's been able to work really well quickly with Whit Merrifield and the entire infield in turning those double plays, but just being a part of the infield, knowing where to be and that kind of thing, which should not go understated. That is not the easiest thing to do, especially when joining a new team and expected to pick up a glove and go at it right away. So, yeah, Gio Urshela, really good defensively. Also offensively, you know, we were all waiting on him to have his first hit. He had that, I believe, last night, and then tonight he gets his first RBI. He's fitting right in. I believe, if I heard it correctly on the broadcast the other night, he and Marcell Ozuna go way back. So you see the connection, right? He's going to fit into the clubhouse. He's been really good for the Braves. I don't know how long his tenure will be in Atlanta, but what a tenure it has been so far. He has been absolutely phenomenal. We also got to talk about two-hit Whit, right? Whit Merrifield has been absolutely phenomenal as well. Whit Merrifield, he was an all-star last year. He was picked up by the Phillies this year and kind of got the runaround a little bit in Philadelphia. Never really fit there, never really fit what they were doing, but this is a guy who's been in the game a long time. He's had 9 years in the game so far. He's usually about a 270 hitter, flirts, you know, anywhere from 250 to 280, 290. He's been a really good hitter. He's been multiple-time All-Star, including last year, but all the way back in 2019, 2021, and 2023. He's led the league in hits twice. He's led the league in triples once back in 2019. But this is a guy who can give you some versatility in the infield and the outfield. I think if time goes on and Ozzie Albies comes back quicker than Austin Riley, which that seems to be the case, I think there's going to be a stint where you see Whit Merrifield play third base over Gio Urshela just because he can, and the bat is there, right? He's a career 280 hitter. He's got a little bit more power than Gio from what we've seen so far. He also provides you the ability to have speed on the base pass. I mean, he's hit, 2 triples since being with the Braves, and that's only been a little while. So, yeah, I mean, he's been really good. He's only had, 21 games as a Brave, but what a stint he has had, and really the ability for these guys, both of them, but especially Whit Merrifield, because he's spoken on it, is that playing every day really helps him. Whit Merrifield spent time with Philadelphia, but he only played 53 games. For perspective, he's played 21 in a Braves uniform, right? And he's been with us for no time at all. They weren't using him in the way that's going to maximize his value. And to be fair to Philadelphia, I don't know that the Braves at the beginning of the season would have been able to use Whit Merrifield in a way to maximize his value either. But the Braves have been put in a spot where they kind of have to rely on players like Whit Merrifield, Gio Urshela, to get by because of all the injuries. And they haven't skipped a beat. And credit where credit is due. Gio Urshela, Whit Merrifield, the Braves have missed on quite a bit this year, especially when it comes to injuries. They have not missed on these two additions. Again, phenomenal defense so far out of Gio Urshela, and I would honestly say great offense out of Whit Merrifield. And Merrifield's fit fine in the infield. I think you could plug him in the outfield if needed. I still think you could plug him at third base and he'd be fine, right? You could see a potential future with these guys. I think if Whit Merrifield continues at his pace, he may find himself in Atlanta again, and it may not be in an everyday role, but they may try to find him a way to get everyday at-bats, right, as opposed to being a starter like he's been. I think that he's really ingrained himself in the clubhouse, so has Urshela, for that matter, in a very short amount of time.
Are you ready to save big on a new Chevrolet?
Make your way
to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Choose America's #1 compact SUV, the Chevy Equinox, discounted up to $6,500 off. The powerful Chevy Silverados are up to $13,750 off. And the big Chevy Silverado 2500 HTs are discounted up to $6,000 off. Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
I mean, as much as we're talking about Whit Merrifield, Gio Urshela has only been with the Braves all of 2 games or 3 games, right? So, and he's already seemed to fit right in with the clubhouse, and that's, again, a really good thing to see out of these 2 guys, and really a good thing to see out of the organization, right? The fact that you can go get 2 guys who were on the island of misfit toys in terms of baseball and bring them in, and they're having, stat differences to this level. Let's look at Merrifield for a second. With the Phillies, he had a 199 batting average. With the Braves, he's got a 258 average. Smaller sample size, I get it, but you can't argue that playing every day seems to help him, right? He's got a 277 on-base percentage with Philadelphia, 387 with the Braves, 295 slug in Philadelphia, 403 with the Braves. He's been a much more consistent hitter with the Braves. There's no debating that. And again, it is a smaller sample size, less than half of the at-bats for the Braves. I get that. But I still think the everyday consistency, we'll have to see how it plays out. We don't need him to win an MVP. We just need him to hit consistently for the rest of the year, and that's all we need. And you got to imagine that Whit Merrifield, coming off a team, coming away from a team who DFA'd him, signing to a team who is the division rival of the team that DFA'd him, you got to think he was hyped up to play that series. And, the fact that he was able to hit a triple against him was nice. He really helped win the game there in Game 1 specifically. I mean, he looked really good there. I like what I see. He's a veteran player. You can tell he's a good fit in the clubhouse, like I mentioned, and that means something in Atlanta. I think that it was a really nice thing to see. And, look, the pressure's on the Phillies at this point, right? The Braves, they're in the rearview mirror, sure, but they're not that far behind, right? Objects in mirror are closer than they appear, and that's where the Braves are right now. If they can continue to fight, if they can continue to battle, then, 6 games is not all that much when you look at the grand scheme of things, right? We've come back from far more, and, look, I think you get this team in the playoffs, whether it be with a Division I or not, you get this team in the playoffs, and crazy things can happen, right? Who would have thought that without Austin Riley, without Ozzie Albies, without A.J. Minter now, without Acuna Strider, who would have thought that we'd be winning the season series against the Phillies? Because we were before this series, and now it's even more so, right? It was 4-2 before this series, so now it's 6-3 against the Phillies. We'll take that. That's pretty darn good. Now, they're still going to have to go forward and win another 4 games possibly, or face them in another 4 games possibly at the tail end of the season, but there is still time. And I think that the additions so far have fit in. It is a small sample size, but guess what, guys? For the whole rest of the year, no matter how many at-bats they have, it's still going to be a small sample size. I couldn't care less about that. I just need them to stay consistent. And if they get consistent at bats, a player like Whit Merrifield especially, I see doing really well in that realm. So we'll see what happens, but so far, so good when it comes to Whit Merrifield and Gio Urshela.
Baseball fans, make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. As always, thank you for your support.